Kendall Jenner let out a long, contented sigh, the sound swallowed by the gentle crash of waves against the private dock. The Saint-Tropez sun, warm and forgiving, bleached the wooden planks and turned her freshly dyed hair into a sheet of white gold. It was a drastic change. For years, her look had been synonymous with a rich, dark brunette, sleek, professional, almost armor-like. But this was different. She called it her sun-bleached soul phase. It wasn't for a campaign or a magazine cover, it was for her. A whim born from a desire to feel lighter, both in color and in spirit. Tucked away in a secluded villa for a few precious weeks, the only demands on her time were the angle of the sun and her choice of iced tea. The first few days had been strange. Catching her reflection in a window, she'd startle, thinking a stranger was in the house. The blonde hair softened her features, made her blue eyes seem wider, more oceanic. It didn't look like Kendall Jenner, the model. It looked like a girl named Kendall, on holiday. One quiet afternoon, she slipped on a simple linen dress and a wide-brimmed hat, its shadow obscuring her famous face. She decided to lose herself in the labyrinthine streets of the old town, away from the glitzy harbor. She wandered without a bodyguard, a small act of rebellion that sent a thrill through her. The air smelled of salt, lavender soak from an open doorway, and roasting chicken. In a small, cluttered art gallery, tucked down a cobblestone alley, she found herself staring at a chaotic, beautiful watercolor of the local market. The artist, an older woman with paint smudged on her cheek and a kind, crinkled smile, approached her. "It captures the noise, doesn't it?" the woman said in heavily accented English. "It does," Kendall replied, her voice quiet. "The colors are amazing." They fell into an easy conversation about light and shadow, about the difficulty of capturing the specific blue of the Mediterranean. The woman spoke with passion, her hands dancing in the air as she described her process. For a full 20 minutes, Kendall was just a blonde girl who appreciated art. The woman didn't recognize her, she only saw the interested young face under a hat. "You have an artist's eye," the woman said finally, wiping her hands on a rag. "What is your name, Cherry?" For a heartbeat, Kendall hesitated. She could say, Kendall, and the spell might break. The recognition would flash in the woman's eyes, and the dynamic would shift from two art lovers to fan and celebrity. "Kate," she said, the alias slipping off her tongue with surprising ease. "My name is Kate." "Well, Kate," the artist said, beaming. "Thank you for seeing the world in my painting." Kendall left the gallery with a small, rolled-up sketch of a fishing boat that she'd bought for a few euros, her heart feeling impossibly light. She hadn't been seen, yet she had been truly seen, in a way that had nothing to do with her name or her family. That night, she sat on the villa's terrace, the sketch propped up beside her. She scrolled through her phone, seeing notifications about her new blonde hair. The paparazzi shots had finally broken. The internet was ablaze with comments, critiques, and admiration. "Kendall goes blonde," the headlines screamed. She smiled, a small, private thing. They were all analyzing the hair, the style, the brand. They thought it was a statement. And maybe on some level, it was. But to her, the blonde wasn't just a color. It was a key. It had unlocked a door to an afternoon of beautiful anonymity, to a conversation with a stranger who called her Kate, to the simple, uncomplicated feeling of being just a girl in the south of France, watching the sun set over the water, her golden hair turning rose gold in the dying light. It was a story no one else would ever really know, and that made it more valuable than any front page.